Class, welcome to Unit 5, Strategic Planning. This is Dr. Peter Terzop, and I wanted to go over a few concepts with you in the class here. Looking at strategic planning, a lot of people will use the SWOT assessment, the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. And that's a good starting point because it allows companies to look at things from various perspectives, a little bit of environmental scanning, as we discussed, and they can look inside and outside the company. Having said that, there are limits to it. One being that there's certain people on the committee and they may have their limitations on knowledge, like what we call imperfect knowledge. They may have bias and prejudice, or just simply they just can't see certain things. Or maybe they have great insight, but typically SWOTs are limited in that way. It gives you a snapshot, a little bit of an overview of a company or an organization. Having said that, there's also strategic planning process, which normally has a commonly used one has 5 process steps, and I can review these very quickly. You always look at the return of investment, which is typically very important, or at least the probability that it's going to happen. If I invest this dollar, how much can I expect back? And then companies typically rank those. If I get a dollar for dollar back here, that's better than $1.10 here. And then what's the projected, or say, reliability probability of it? And that's important as well. Is it a risky investment? Is it safe and stable? Analyze performance of management and board with an alignment, and seeing how board members in the company can actually implement the process or actually get through the planning. The review in external environments and scans, we talked about that before. Review internal environment and scans, and then select strategic factors. So and the rest of the narrative will go into that, and it'll talk about different things you can do. When looking at the strategic planning process, the key here is how do we move with different questions, processes, and say the SWOT, how do we use these tools in order to get a good concept of where a company or an organization is going? And then the team can sit there and say, okay, now we got the board here, we got the leadership here, we have middle management, we have the line worker, say maybe the front line worker, the person that's in the trenches, so to speak. And how do we get all these people moving towards things that, for example, we talked about culture and the environment of the company, things of that nature. So we want to make sure that we're addressing all those things. And then a company at that point can sit there and start looking at how do we pick certain strategies to go forward. So the planning process is very critical. A lot of people see it as something that they do relatively quick, but we need to make sure that this process is done very well, very strong and thoroughly in order to prevent problems going forward. If you need any more help, please reach out to your course professor right away. Thank you.